All right, time for sports. Myra's on the road tonight at the big hockey game in Port Alberni. Jordan's here. Jordan.
Yeah.
And you're going to be at the basketball game tonight.
It's a great night for basketball. Yes, thank you, Hudson. We start in the hardwood, where the UVic Vikes men's basketball team puts the Canada West best home record to the test tonight. The UNBC Timberwolves are in town for the first time since joining the Canada West as the Vikes search for their 5th straight victory.
1, 2, 3, Vikes!
Vikes 7-1 at McKenna Gym, tying them with UBC for the best home record in the West. 6 games remain on the regular season sked, and while it's unlikely the Vikes can close the gap with their arch nemesis, the first-place UBC Thunderbirds, they've got plenty to play for over the next 3 weeks. They are finally healthy, with veteran post Pierce Anderson back from an ankle injury, and the next step to securing a home playoff berth starts tonight.
UNBC is one of those oddities in the sense that young for CIS as far as team goes, but their team is quite old. There's a lot of guys there that have won CCAA national championships. You know, most of their key players are in their 4th and 5th years, so there'll be no quit on them no matter where they are at the standings. They still have a fighting chance for a playoff spot.
They're a bunch of veterans. They're a bunch of 4th and 5th year players, so it should be a good challenge. They're coming ready to play, and they're playing for their lives to get into the playoffs.
And while rim-rattling dunks are awfully sexy, the kind of guy you can lean on down the stretch is that guy, Reiner Tile, the second-year guard out of Van College. Does it all for the Vikes, but does it quietly. UVic allows the fewest points in the Canada West, and Reiner is the backbone.
I don't show up on the stat sheet every night as much as other guys like Mike, Terrell, Chris, but it's all the little things, kind of the tips on defense and the rebounds and definitely those stops that help our team win.
He never gets any press or any notoriety, but he plays the most minutes for us. He doesn't score the most points, but he's the best defender, I think, in the Canada West.
Coach is definitely, he's told me that, and I've kind of come to accept that role as a defensive stopper. That's definitely one of my strong suits, and I'm loving that.
2, 3, Vikes!
Women's action tips off at 6, followed by the men at 8 o'clock. Now, Friday night is always a busy one in BCHL barns, nowhere more so than at Weyerhaeuser Arena in Port Alberni, where the Bulldogs are set to face the Cowichan Valley Capitals. It's CTV game night, so go down and hang out with Myra Lawrence and friends this evening. Alberni sits in 3rd place in the Coastal Conference, winners of 2 straight, while Cowichan is kind of playing out the string. Last place in the BCHL, with plenty of roster spots on the line for next season. The Grizz are in Powell River to pad their lead in the Coastal Conference, and the Nanaimo Clippers are in Powell River tonight to face the Kings, trying to halt a 2-game skid. Now, thankfully, the Victoria Royals didn't have time to dwell on last night's 6-1 drubbing at the hands of the WHL's hottest team. After their loss to the Kelowna Rockets, the Royals were right back on the bus, and tonight they're in Prince George to face the Cougars. Okanagan hospitality. Certainly not what it used to be. The Rockets have rattled off 22 straight wins at home. That is the 3rd longest streak in the dub in all of its history, 7 shy of the record set by the '93 Kamloops Blazers. Power play goal right there made it 2-0 home team, and that got under the skin of menacing defenseman Keegan Kanzig, dropping the gloves with Carter Rigby. That's really the only victory the Royals would chalk up last night. Jamie Crooks got the only goal in a 6-1 loss. No Tyler Stahl for the Royals tonight. The captain has now served 3 games of his 8-game suspension. Remember this hit? Daniel Sedin may not, but the rest of Canucks faithful sure haven't forgotten. Duncan Keith can expect an icy reception when the Blackhawks roll into Rogers Arena tonight. It's the first meeting between the rivals since that headshot sidelined the Canucks forward for the last part of the season and 3 games of the postseason. Retaliation? No, maybe not.
There's probably going to be a lot of hype through the media and newspapers and that stuff about us doing something or us wanting to do something, and it's no different than any other good player. We want to be physical against him. He plays a lot of minutes. He plays important minutes for them, and he's a guy that you got to put a body on to slow down.
These are all 3 out of 5 set matches.
Huge happenings right now in Vancouver if you're a tennis fan. Canada facing Spain in Davis Cup play, and who says Canada's not a tennis nation? Thunderbird Sports Center at UBC was rocking for Raonic as Milos Raonic took on Ramos. Rocking for Ramos there. Plenty of Spanish fans. That's cool. Milos heavily favored at home against the world's 51st ranked Ramos, but he had some struggles early on. Raunic's heavy serve was once again his biggest weapon, but he wasn't dialed in until the 2nd set, which he won 6-4. The 4th and final set, Raonic rips one of his 26 aces on match point Canada with the 1-0 lead on Spain. Good news here, Frank Dancevic is playing as we speak. He took the first set off Marcel Granoller's fantastic start to Davis Cup play against Spain for Canada. That is awesome and a huge coup for us on the West Coast to get that kind of tennis out here.
Another win for Milos.
You and your Seinfeldisms.
That was a good one.
It's very cool.
Good episode.
I love Davis Cup tennis.
Who do you like Sunday?
Oh boy, I like the Ravens. I'm not a believer in Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, I hope the Ravens win. Yeah.
Kaepernicking. What's with that? That's what he did the week of the Super Bowl. Was patented that.
Yeah, yeah. And of the Harbaughs, I like John better than Jim.
Yeah,
I got it right? Yeah.
I think I have a bit of a consensus there for sure.
All righty. Thanks, Jordy.
All right.